I want to thank you for joining me today. And before we get started, as always, all messages that are released on this channel are my truth. And that is exactly what it is and what it always will be. And that is my truth. Now, my truth consists of a bunch of experiences that I gained clarity from, which ultimately took me back to the real me, which is truth. Now, when I try to convince you that my truth is the gospel, however, my truth is the gospel for me. That does not make it the gospel for you, nor will I ever try to make it the gospel for you. By me being on this platform, I am simply placing breadcrumbs on a path that I've already walked. Now, you find yourself on a similar path and you resonate with said breadcrumbs and you say, you know what, I like that. I want to follow that. And that's cool. If not, that is cool as well. My purpose is to assist those who are ready to get out of their own way. So let's get right into it. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So, today I wanted to be talked about this huge ball of energy that I've been pushing up this energetic mountain in the last few messages. Well, today I finally pushed it to the top of this mountain. And let me tell you, it's a beautiful view from up here. Beautiful day, sun shining. It's been snowing the past couple days, so the mountain is full of fresh snow. And there's a ton of people on this mountain. Now, my goal is to push this energetic snowball down this mountain while it's crowded full of people. Now, no, it's not because I want to run people over and watch them get hurt. It's the exact opposite, actually. Well, not completely. I do want it to run everyone over that's on this mountain and even that town below. But this snowball is special. This snowball is comprised of energy. So when this energy rolls over you, it just keeps going. It will roll over everything that's not in alignment with it, forcing it to sit down and face what you've either been avoiding or the things that you have suppressed. The only way we can elevate is by releasing what no longer serves, and that's causing us to stay stuck. So yes, it might suck for a little bit when this ball of energy rolls right up over you and make you sit down, but on the other side of that is a lot of joy. It's like being stuck in the desert and you haven't had a cup of water in 2 days. That first cup of water that you receive will be the best cup of water you ever had in your life. That is what it feels like when you ascend above your current low vibration into higher vibrations and out of this third dimension. Now, the past couple of messages, this energetic snowball contained love, light, healing, and peace. Well, seeing that I've made it to the top of this mountain, I've decided to add 2 more things to that. And those 2 things will be balance and unity. So when this snowball rolls over you, it will shake up your world. And that's exactly what it's supposed to do. So with that being said, this is your trigger warning. This message might trigger some, and that is fine, as it should. It should trigger you into wanting better for the self. And I said self, not yourself, because there is no you, just like there is no me. If you're triggered, you're welcome. That trigger is the self screaming inside of you, take this damn plastic bag off my head because you're suffocating me. I would like for you to free the self. Just because it's a clear plastic bag doesn't mean the self can see, doesn't mean that the self can breathe, and everything wants to breathe. So eventually, the self will get tired of not having enough air and it will give up. I would love for you to allow me to poke one hole in that bag so the self can finally get some air. And as I go along with these messages, and if they resonate, then I ask you to remove that bag completely from the self. So, let's continue on. You ever have that feeling inside of you that you really can't explain? Well, that's the self. We've been taught your feelings don't matter, but I assure you they do. They serve as a warning signal that we've been taught to ignore. When that signal goes off, we were never taught how to trust it. We were taught the exact opposite, to trust everything on the outside, trust what you can see. Well, we already know the eyes will deceive us quite easily. Hell, even people deceive us. You've been taught to trust people, titles, authority figures as if they were the truth. But I ask you this, which title or authority figure, no matter how high this title is, has not had some type of scandal associated with it? Lies, corruption, and many other things. And I'm talking about judges, doctors, lawyers, presidents, priests, police chiefs, politicians. You can pick any one of these, and any one that I didn't name. But what I would love for you to do is just go over to Google and type in whichever one of those titles you want. Let's go with doctors. Type in doctors, doctor arrested for, and then hit enter. And what you're going to see is a whole bunch of doctors and the type of things that they've been arrested for. Now, you can do this with all of these different titles and these different authority figures, right? Who should be walking in truth, but they're not. Now, my point with saying all of this is when you get triggered, it's because you have something in you that you haven't healed yet. The truth lives within us all, but if we never tap into it, then what's the use? That feeling we feel is saying, hey, I do not agree with your current perspective. Please look at this again. And the longer you ignore that feeling, the worse that feeling becomes, the more triggered you will become. Now, I've spent the last few years inching my way closer and closer to truth, that truth that lives within us all. That truth is none other than God and or love. And I said it that way for a reason, because when you find love, you find God. And if you find God, you find love. Not this fake stuff people keep telling one another, but real, unfiltered, unconditional love. You know, when I started going within and I started listening and moving according to the truth, I started feeling so much better. I was becoming happier, lighter in my body, and the list goes on and on and on. Then one day, I heard put out messages. Now, I'll be honest, I did not like when that message popped up in my head at all. I was just starting to feel good. Things were looking good. I was finally understanding how things work. So the first thing I said was, dang, God, I thought you loved me. I was like, you know how these fools are when someone starts speaking truth, especially if it interrupts the power structures that have been created. I was like, you want me to be a target? And I waited for a response. So I sat there. Nothing came for a couple seconds. And then I just came to my own conclusion. And I was like, what the hell you think you've been this entire time? So I said, well, true that. So it is what it is. And here I am now putting out messages. Now, do not hear the words I use and think that I didn't want to put out messages because I am in fear. That's far from the case, actually. I said it for 3 reasons. 1, when it comes to truth, I have no filter. I will speak my mind and call it, it is what it is, and do so unapologetically if it is the truth, because the truth trumps how I feel. I don't care how strong I feel about something. The truth is the truth, and I will conform to the truth, and not ways of or how I feel or what I personally think. I'm that person that will say, hey, you got a little bugger hanging. You walk past me, you got a little scent to you. Might want to take a little shower. Now, I might throw a little humor in there. That's just to ease it. But I'm speaking truth, because if I was in that position, I would want somebody to tell me the truth. But what I had to learn is people don't want to hear the truth. People rather have their ego stroke than hear the truth. I've told this to numerous women that I've dated. Please don't ask me anything that you do not want to hear the truth to. So if you ask me, hey, how do I look in this outfit? And if that means you asking my opinion, if I like it, I'll tell you that. If I don't, I'm going to tell you that as well. I'm not going to stroke your ego. You know, you might say, oh, that's mean. You can just be nice. Or it's a white lie. I don't believe in any of that. And if you want to, that's on you. But I know how energy works. A lie is a lie. Humans call it a white lie. But at the end of the day, it's still a lie. So people know, don't ask me anything that you don't want the truth to. And I'm talking about to the point where I've been in rooms multiple times where people actually asking multiple people something, and they intentionally go around me and don't even ask me. I'm like, why would you not ask me? And the response is typically to say, nah, I'm good. So I come to realize people truly do not want to hear the truth. And that's, to me, is sad. Number 2, I do not hold back. I'm an open book. I have no problem sharing what I know. Now, that's the one that worried me the most, because People like to corrupt things and use what is meant for good to do harm. So I was like, I'm an open book and I tell all. Then I was waiting once again for that answer. And then once again, the same exact thing. I answered it myself. Oh, I guess that's why you want me to do it. So once again, here we are. So let me start off with this. When I say God, I use that as a universally recognized word to describe the all. And the all is everything. Now, I've mentioned the Kabbalion numerous times on this channel, and it's definitely a good read if you haven't read it. Now, one of the Hermetic principles is the all in all. And it states, while all is in the all, it is equally true that the all is in all. To him who truly understands this truth hath come great knowledge. Now, that is powerful, right? So basically, it's saying the same thing I've been saying in a lot of these messages. The divine God universe is in everything, including you, including me. So God in itself is me. Not as in I am God. No, God is me. God is everything. If you understand, you understand. I'll continue. And that's up to you whether or not you want to discover that. We do have freedom of choice, right? So you may not want to go that deep within yourself because you do have to go deep within in order to discover that. I said in another message that every level I ascend, I was the final boss at the end of that level. I made the cage, so naturally I was the one who was guarding it. I do mean every single level. I was the boss at the end. When I ascended to the version I am now, it was my highest form at that time. There is only God. And if you're trying to get back fully to your divine nature, your name, your race, your height, this body, that's not who you are or what you are. When I elevated above this third dimension, this is what I came to see. This is why I say go within. Please do not take my word for nothing. I say, please do not believe anything I say. You see, if you just believe something, you stop looking because you think you already know the truth. So it's not about knowing the truth. It's about experiencing the truth. Experiencing something and believing something are two completely different energies. I want you to experience what I have. So please do not just believe. Put in the work to experience what I'm trying to relay in these messages. And the third reason is simple. People are so separate right now, and we just don't help each other at all. When someone tries to help out society, that person throughout history has been removed. And people go about their day as nothing happened. We'll see something pop up on the news about this person invented this person invented that, and a couple days later, month later, whatever the case may be, miraculously, all of these people with inventions just happen to be removed, right? So that just tells me just how asleep most people are. People reveal truth or things that will help the world all the time. And then we act like those people didn't say anything. It's like, oh well. So that is what bothered me a lot. Look at how many people come up with different inventions. We'll talk about cars. So many different inventions where people have discovered how cars can run off oil, cars can run off of water, hydrogen, the energy that's all around us all the time, abundance of energy, right? So we don't need any charging stations and all of these other things. So, or things that can help with crops, all these different things. When people bring these inventions up, they're removed. If you talk about religious or spiritual truths, gone. And this has been the case for a very long time, and it's because of control. As long as we stay divided, we feel powerless. What do I mean? Jan Hus, burned at the stake, 1415, spoke about corruption within the church. Hus criticized numerous things and even said Christ was ultimately the head of the church, not the Pope. They tried him, told him to retract his statements. He refused. He was condemned for heresy and burned. William Tyndale, executed 1536. He thought ordinary people should be able to read the scripture instead of being taught by a clergy from Latin texts. So he translated it into English from Greek and passed out copies. He too was convicted of heresy, strangled, then burned. Now, what makes this story even more messed up is the translations. Most of those translations that Tyndale did, you find in the King James Bible today. Go figure. Giordano Bruno, burned at the stake, 1600. He was saying that there are infinite universes containing innumerable worlds. He also challenged several of the church's doctrines, and when he refused to recant his statements, you guessed it, he was called a heretic and burned alive. Of course, we know the story of Jesus, so I don't have to go there, but that's another one. I'm just naming a few people. There are tons of people that I could name. We can even talk about Galileo. He wasn't exempt from this as well. You know, when the church came out, they were saying how the sun revolves around the earth. And Galileo was like, actually, we revolve around the sun. Now, once again, he got off easy. And by easy, I mean he wasn't burned at the stake. But he did get house arrest, and which is where he died, at home alone, right? So now these, like I said, these are just religious examples, but the same goes for any other big business. You try to mess up those profits. Galatians 4:16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Now I use scripture because it's a book that I can refer to with numerous scriptures that will lead you to truth. But I am fully aware that is numerous separate books that has been made into one book spanning over thousands of years. That's where it comes from, that Greek word ta biblia, which translates to the books. Now, I'm not religious, nor do I condemn religion. It's just not for me. And it's not for me because I see it as control. And it's not pushing truth, freedom, unity, and love. So for me, I see that as a problem. What do I mean? Matthew 23:13. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You shut the door of the kingdom of heaven in the people's faces. You yourselves do not enter, nor will you let those enter who are trying to. That is why I don't like it. And the scripture already tells you where the kingdom of heaven is located. And the kingdom of heaven is located within you. Don't forget that. So what am I talking about here by saying all of this? I look at it like this. Right now, because our structure has been destroyed, right? Our foundation, let's say. So that means we're just a bunch of scattered puzzle pieces. That's what we are right now. Scattered puzzle pieces. When you're looking at a puzzle and it's on a table and they're all scattered all over the place, you don't know what this image is when you're looking at it, right? And that's how people are. We're confused, we're scattered, we don't know what's going on. And that's because we have no foundation. Our foundation has been removed. What I'm suggesting is we build a new foundation, a foundation that's built on love. Why love? quite easy, actually. 1 Corinthians 13:4. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. That's why we should build it on love. Everything that I said in that scripture that love is all of the things that we're currently facing right now. Or should I say the opposite of what we're facing right now. 1 John 4:7-8. Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. That's why. This world is so far from being loving, and that truly is sad. We already see what a world looks like without love. That's what we're looking at right now. If we look at nature, which we model nature, we come from nature. Look at, let's just say, ants. Look at what all these ants, when they work together as one with one common goal, look at what they can build. Same thing goes with bees and plenty of other animals that are within nature. So we can do that exact same thing, right? So you have to ask yourself, who is benefiting from us being separate? Because we are not benefiting from us being separate, right? So somebody must be. But if we change that and we build our own foundation, and that foundation is built on love, then we can start putting this puzzle back together. That is what I'm suggesting. Putting this puzzle back together. Now I'm going to read another scripture. And remember all the things that I've talked about, and let me know if this scripture hits a little different this time. Genesis 11. And the whole earth was of one language and one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar. And they dwelt there. And they said to one another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and the slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build a city and a tower, whose top may reach into heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men built. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have one language. And this they begin to do. And now nothing, let me repeat this, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad, and thence upon all of the earth, and they left off to build the city. Now I can stop there. Now, I've already said it in the previous message. For me, personally, because I know this is the King James Bible, right? Okay. So, you have to, like I said, the Bible is many books scattered over thousands of years and made into one, from different religions, different time periods, and all this and that, right? That's why you have so many different names that they tell you are referring to God. Lord, Most High, God, all these different names are in the Bible, right? But like I said, this is the King James Version. So these are scattered from different time periods. So think about it. Lord, So you're going to have, this is the time of lords. So when you had kings, right, the kings ruled the whole land. You got the emperors, the kings, and you had lords. So the kings would assign lords to certain areas, and then those lords would report to the king, right? So when I read this is what I'm hearing when I read that. The Lord of that land came down, and it says right there clear, let us. So it's multiple, right? To confound the language. What is that? Confusion. They're bringing confusion to the land. Now, I have a problem with that because 1 Corinthians 14:33 clearly states that God is not the author of confusion. So if you're telling me that the Lord came down and brought confusion and separated the people and scattered the people all over, why? Because the people were working together as one. And they're telling you right then and there that this is how long we've been separate. They've separated us a long time ago. A long time ago. And it's been working all of these years, being separate. That's why we're a bunch of separate little puzzle pieces trying to find something, when all we have to do is rebuild that foundation. But right now that foundation is trash because it's built on lies, betrayal, deceit, and fear. So that's why I say we need to build a new foundation, a foundation built on love. And when we start putting this puzzle together, right, what we're going to find is a bunch of pieces that just don't fit. Because right now these pieces are able to be scattered in because we're all scattered. We're a bunch of puzzle pieces all over. So these pieces that don't fit the puzzle, they can just blend in. This is why we're separate. So those pieces can just blend right on in. But if we're built on love and respect for each other, then those pieces are going to stick out. They're going to stick out. So I ask you, who does it benefit? Us being separate is what keeps them powerful. Us coming together is what keeps us powerful. Now, I use the Tower of Babel story, and don't be confused by what most would tell you. Oh no, it was destroyed because they're trying to be God, and yeah, that's the story. They want you to skip over everything that I read and just focus on that. No, that's not what was going on. Learn to form your own opinions. I'm not telling you to even believe anything I say. Like I said, go within. The truth lies within you. Check on the inside. If you're triggered by something, once again, it's telling you, hey, look at this again. That's what it's telling you. I want to read one more scripture. Matthew 15:8. This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Let love in, people. Let love in. Ever since I've been putting out these messages, it's like, I don't understand. Like, I'm like, am I like the only one that see like how much better things would be if we work together and stop all this trying to compete with each other and backstab and lie and betray and all of these different things that are running rampant in the world right now. And I understand how it's been programmed, you know. You've been programmed to be in lack and fear, and that is what put people in desperate situations. But when you go within and you tap into that love, it's totally different. Your whole mindset is going to change. Every single message I put out, since I started putting, every so often I'll put hashtags on there, right? Now, no matter what I'm talking about, there's one particular hashtag that I put at the end of all the hashtags. And that's hashtag more powerful together. Think about that. And I'm going to leave it there. And as always, if you got anything out of this message, I ask you to hit your like and subscribe. And I will definitely check you in the next one.